once again to Baked Beans Garage. Good. Oh, much better. Hello and welcome once again to Baked Beans Garage, where, oh baby, she's crusty. So, last time I looked at those engines, one was pretty bad, one was a mystery. I'll admit to have taken a sneak peek at the green one there. There's some surprises. We'll get to that. But today, since I have absolutely no concept of project planning or time management, I want to clean up this engine bay. There's a lot of junk in here. So yeah, let's get into that. And once again, even since I shot that intro, I've already changed my mind what this episode's going to be about, because there's plenty of rust. And we're going to look at it. But first, I need to clean this up because it's bothering me. I'm just going to, degrease, pressure wash, get rid of some of the garbage, and roll her outside, spray her down. It'll be good. It'll also give me a chance to check on the trout population of the diesel lake she left underneath. Oh yeah, who doesn't love a mystery relay? It looked like it was going to the starter. Heavens, that's a long wire. Come on. Circular file. And some further mystery electrical here. We'll go ahead and solve this quick. Come on. There it is. One of them. There we go. Fixed. Anyway, let's clean this. Unfortunately, looks like the lake dried up and all the diesel trout flew home for the winter. Hey, little buddy. One time I accidentally bought this instead of brake clean, so I'm going to see if it does anything. Caution, little one. Well, much better. The rust is still there, unfortunately. That seems to be all of it under here, though. No more holes that I've found yet. I did find some forceful clearancing someone has done to get the turbo in there. Some nice custom work. On the topic of rust, let's have a look underneath. Oh, that's pretty clearly not factory. Also, this right here, I think that is out of limits for chunks missing from the frame. But yeah, that's the big problem here. Oh, it's in there solid. That's a good repair. But yeah, just typical Pennsylvania. At some point, someone got some spray-on undercoating put on this car, which definitely made it a whole lot worse. Don't do that. All it does is trap the moisture you already have. And you end up with this. Yummy. Don't worry about that fuel line. We'll get there. So yeah, since we want to look at that, the interior is going to have to come out. Said interior is, pretty standard fare for a 40-year-old car. A few little gems like the drifter stitched door cards. There's this, which the current owner says does not work. I suspect it works just fine. It just didn't make any boost. Here was that clicky-clacky fuel pump. I'm mad that a hole has been drilled. The upholstery isn't horrible for its age. Some evidence of a mild electrical fire, but nothing too big. Obviously, most of the panel's still there. This is just more evidence that if there is no fuse, something will become a fuse at some point. I have no idea how these Volvo interiors come apart, but I'm surely going to find out. Ooh, she's even started for me. Before I tear it all apart, we'll have a moment to appreciate the enormity of this cargo area. And that seat is stuck in the upright position. I have no idea what to do about it because there is no Bentley manual. I even tried summoning the spirit of Robert Bentley himself to no avail. Ooh, the rock auto pile is mounting. Anyway, this should be enough serotonin to carry me through however long that takes to figure out. You just flip that bad boy up, and you got all the room you need for the traditional Swedish 2/3 of a human child. There we go. Not much thought given to the average fat American, but at least my feet didn't go through the spare tire well. I was concerned about that. Success! I didn't bother filming this laborious process because it was sweaty and there was a lot of profanity But as you can see, I was successful. I took the latch out. You pry the bezel off, 2 screws. This rod right there, that runs this latch, and then there's the cable up here which runs the latch down there, and that's what was jammed. I was able to, I just latched that. Anyway, I was able to peel the armrest apart and reach around in here after I took the little trim piece out and yank on that manually, and she came down. Well, now that some weight reduction is out of the way, we can do a little bit of automotive archaeology. This is just typical human grime. I realized I haven't looked in here yet. Oof. Bad omen. Oh, hold up. Those are injector nozzles. Only 3 of them, which isn't quite enough, but damn. That's probably 30-40 bucks nowadays. I imagine they've been discontinued for a couple decades. Oh. Well, you're welcome, little fella. It's nice to be appreciated now and again. Got writing implements for uncovered something there. But there's also that. But I knew about that. And yeah, credit where it's due. Those Swedes know how to put a car together. This was pretty easy to take apart. I'm a fan of it. This has become a problem. Pennsylvania behavior, I tell you what. So a closer look at this here spicy sadness. You can see quite a bit around here. There's also a wee little spot up here. And this just goes to show, this likely started as either a void in the factory undercoating or a rock chip or something, but as soon as it poked a hole through that floorboard and moisture was able to come up through, this sound deadening material just held it against the floor, and that caterpillar action as it corroded just let it creep out and grow. So this is still mostly metal, so I like to think I caught it in time. That'll be okay, that won't. That'll need some new metal. Let's see how we're doing on this side. Yeah, that is probably... Oh, heavens. Yeah. See, look at this. I made a mess unintentionally. I should call her. But yeah, completely waterlogged. Expectations were low, but now I'm just scared. So it doesn't look so bad, but that's likely completely deceiving. We will poke around with the pokey bit, see what we find. Oh, the smell just hit me. Well, as we can see here, some fine repair work has been done in the past. Bigger the glob, the better the job. I'll deal with that later. Under here, I'm a little more optimistic now than I was before. Pretty much everything that needs replaced is mostly flat. Taking that out really didn't reveal anything too tragic. So in here, I'm going to start with getting this piece out. I don't know about these guys yet, but probably. So to get this out, obviously these are just spot welds. I have to assume there would have been some there as well, but I'm going to start by cleaning up with a wire wheel so I can get a good look at them. Then I will center punch each one, and what I have here is a special little spot weld cutter, which I have had moderate success with in the past. I have it, so might as well try it. So this thing just made a mess. That's another one for the circular file. I'm sure a quality one would probably work pretty well, but that $6 one from Harbor Freight's just junk, so I gotta actually try to be careful with the drill bit now. Well, alright, that was more painful than I remember, but it's out. You can see how that little thing just chewed those right up. The rest was pretty uneventful, except for an accident from being too aggressive on the screwdriver, but that's fine. Better look at everything. You can see how it's flat. Not going to be too bad to patch. I'm just going to start cutting and see where I get. And since it's going to be open on the upward side, I'm going to go ahead and fix this down here first, so I can seal it real nice and good from the top before I put it all back together. I'm not quite sure what happened here. That's like a clean cut, and this is all jagged and broken. Don't matter. Still going to fix it. Got to be careful of those fuel lines right there. But I'll just start cutting, see what happens. So I'm nice and refreshed after that diesel shower. We got her all cut apart here. As you can see, I tried to keep this ridge right here, what for rigidity. Down here, the frame rail really isn't so bad, except for the chunk there. Disclaimer, if you're cutting apart your frame rail, you might want to jack and shore your car so it doesn't bend all around. However, I didn't find that necessary because this is a 1980s Volvo, and they aren't known for their fragility, structurally speaking. Now we got a nice clean hole. We can take our templating material, make that up real nice and good. Now I don't have any pure argon, and obviously you have to TIG cardboard, so I went and made that same piece out of something resembling metal, and she'll fit right in there. Now obviously you want a nice clean butt weld all the way around, for keeping the moistures out. So when you do this, take your time, get it to fit nice. If I could get it to stay there, would be nice. But yeah. And of course it doesn't have to be completely flush all the way around. Once you start welding, you can kind of poke and prod and hammer and get that seam nice and flush. Apologies for scalding your eyes with those booger welds. We got the new machine and I had to do some learning on it. But now, that's all burned in, cleaned up. I kind of came around towards the end there and figured it out. But yeah, while the navel jelly chews on that, I'm going to go ahead and start templating the big patch. This navel jelly, it's not the most potent rust dissolver on the market, but it is what I have. Over here I have other various elixirs that I will use to seal that up once that's done. Just Rust-Oleum works just as well, but the secret ingredient is crime. Also this catalyst, which helps it get nice and hard. And then this is more or less just a thick linseed oil, something of the sort, like Corrosion X. That type of product is very good. Anyways, I got this roughed out. I'm gonna shove it down here. Obviously that's quite the loose fit. I'm gonna put some stuff with gravity in them to hold this down. And I'll take and mist down under here. Clean that up, chew it out of the Chevy hood, and we will be in business. So we've moved over now to the sheet metal shop, and obviously It's going to be a little floppy with no shape to it, so we're going to put some shape to it. So here I have a piece of rebar. Line that up. And this is a bit from my bender. And I'm too cheap to buy a bead roller because I'm not a sheet metal guy. And we're just going to give her a couple thwacks. Alright, so that was about an hour of fidgeting and fiddling and going in and out a million times, but I think I got a close enough seam to get a nice close butt weld. Keep the rust out real nice and good. So now I'm just going to do all the boring stuff with the flap wheel and the wire wheel and clean all the undercoating and paint. I will also have to trace out my rosette welds for the frame rail. But yeah, very nearly ready to give her a zip, zip, and one down here, zip. Now obviously a much better fabricator would have had that panel perfectly fit in like 20 minutes and then bzzz, one nice clean TIG bead right along that whole seam. But I am me. But that's my process. I'm still getting better at it. Don't worry about that ugliness. Little thin area kept poking through. But yeah, just zip, zip, zip. One tack after another just to keep from blowing through too bad, and just tippy-tapping it as you go to get it to fit right. So now I'm going to repeat that on all the rest. Okay, it may look like I'm only grinding it down to hide my shame, and while that's a factor, that's not entirely the case. Grinding it down like that makes it real easy to look for things like porosity and voids. You can see I found some right here that'll have to be ground out and redid. Also, in these rosettes, a couple little voids. I made a little bit of a mess with this seam down here on the bottom, but we'll clean that up, don't worry about it. Got to make a little half moon, as I figured it would be easier to fit this and then do that later. I gotta fix my boo-boo here, and then we'll be putting this seat brace back in, which won't be too bad. I just gotta cut some of it off because air doesn't weld that well to steel, so I'm gonna put some new steel in there and then weld it to the floor, and then we'll redo these. That one's just gone, the nuts for the cross member. And before this guy goes back in, we're gonna have to address these seat mounts, so I've violently persuaded some more Chevy hood into these two shapes. Just gotta do this one here. I also fixed that. Don't worry what the bottom looks like, it's metal again. Being lazy, not having it clamped in the vise, I got very lucky. Minimal damage. Still hurt? Anyway, that's about ready to put in. So yeah, all those are made up. I got some holes drilled for the rosette welds. I'm gonna hit everything I'm welding with some weld through primer, and I'm gonna start poking holes like I do. Now that piece is tacked in, we can rinse and repeat. installed. So that means all the metal, once again, is metal. We're going to hit this with the old tractor paint elixir, and then I think we'll be done for this very long and monotonous episode. I have some more rust here and there and everywhere to fix, but I think I'm just going to speed run that at the beginning of the next episode. A fella ran out of paint mixing cups, so I rushed through my dinner just to make do. We'll steal more at work tomorrow. So that'll about do it for this episode, and before you hop in the comments to tell me I'm a terrible welder, I know. But you have the distinct pleasure of watching me learn, because what are projects for? Anyways, if you've watched this far, I do appreciate you. If you feel so inclined, give her a like and a subscribe. Try to get this channel going. And yeah, I am Chinchilla, this is Baked Beans Garage. I will see you next time.